Very nice to see you all. Welcome. I thought I would say a little bit, which, is not an advertisement, but, I wrote this book early on called Freedom from the Web of Karma. I wrote it first in Norwegian because I had just moved from America back to Norway, or even actually I was commuting back and forth. And I wrote it in Norwegian first, and then in English. I think it came from a few articles that I wrote from an alternative magazine in Norway. And I think some of the points of that book are very relevant to the practice that we are doing. And if you haven't read it, I recommend that you take a look at it, but I will summarize some of it. I mean, it's basically all of us are living in a web of karma. We are in kind of a structure that is based on our upbringing, our conditioning, our habits, and all these things that we learn in our upbringing marks our life as we go on. So every time we confront something or something is difficult, unpleasant, challenging, it feels like we are meeting a karma. The word in Hindu language is what's the word? Samskaras. And it's a nice word because it picks up the English word for scar. And we all have these patterns in us, tendencies to react a certain way. And there's nothing wrong with that, except, when we are caught in it, and it creates more problems for us. Kari, du har lest denne boka på norsk, så du vet hva jeg snakker om. Frigjøring fra karmanettet. And the thing that we tend to believe, is that encountering these tendencies and reactions and conditioning in ourselves, that there's something wrong with that. And, these tendencies tend to make us chase after various things that we think that we need. And it also makes us cling to things that we need to hold, things that we think we need to hold on to. And none of those things are true. These reactions that we have to various things that we encounter are just that, reactions. We are triggered to feel certain things, but nobody tells you you have to repeat the same behavior or the same reactions over and over again. You can choose. So, we can take our power back. That's what the freedom from the karma web is all about, is that we choose to not react in the way that we are tempted to act. We become aware of the reaction, then we pull back, and we are observing it in a more objective way. We look at it. It may not be pleasant, it may hurt like hell, but we don't have to try to change anything. We just allow our attitude towards it to change. Change our attitude towards it, the way we relate to it. It's not what we have in life as much as how we relate to what we have. What we are. If we relate to that with a state of openness and this witness awareness, well then somehow, magically, gradually, this experience of being caught in this web is transformed. And it doesn't feel so much like we're trapped in a web anymore. It feels more like this web of karma, is shining on us. It's energy. It's energy flowing on us. And whatever it is that we are being triggered to feel and react to, it's also just part of that same light show in a way. So it's really how we relate to it. We don't need to chase anything. We don't need to hold on to anything. We can just be. Just be. So that's my little speech for today. But I'm speaking, when I say that, from many years of experience of encountering these patterns and these tendencies that we all have in various ways. And thinking, in the beginning that, I have to fix all this. I have to get better of this and that. This I have to get rid of. This. No, it's all going to be there. It's just that you are free of it. That's the key. The key is to be free. And it just means that we look at it differently. And it goes for everything. There are many things we absolutely are not going to like. But, that's what we are. There's a saying in English, you make lemonade out of the lemons that you are given, or however it goes, So we really have to try to make, not only try, we have to make lemonade out of whatever lemons we get. And enjoy it. Very quickly, it's going to be over. It's dramatic, it's wonderful, it's full of love and compassion. When you get into that open state and you just feel that there's nothing but love there, no matter how crazy the world is. The world is crazy. Who knows? I hope it gets better, but nobody can give us any guarantees of that. So it is what it is. But we have a choice about how we relate to that world, our world. And that goes all the way up until our last breath. We have a choice. Doesn't get any easier, but it gets more and more simple and rewarding.